So I keep getting asked to make a video on or develop a new path, a new way. And here's the problem with that is the, my beliefs aren't new. They're not anything unique. There are plenty of people out there and old masters, like Bruce Lee, Nima Musashi, who they talk about these things as you can't just follow one master. You can't stick to one book. You gotta find your own way. I have my own unique beliefs for sure, but they're mine. They're ill suited for anybody else. A lot of the stuff that I talk about, I pulled from anime and comic books and video games. The things that I believe, the things that I talk about, those are the things that help me become who I am. I didn't make that. That was something that was given to me. So, when you want to talk about what should you follow, what should you believe, what should you do, that's not a question for me to answer, right? Heck, a lot of the stuff I talk about was taught to me in basic training in the military, and the rest were just from mandatory meetings and seminars. Books. You know? My step corner is a mess today. But I would like to start with one of Jesus's teachings. One of his disciples asks him about John the Baptist and why he follows the old way and why don't you make him follow the new way? And Jesus tells him about a wineskin, a bottle, essentially, filled to the brim with wine, and that is religion or belief. And you can't add wine to it because that bottle is full. And you can't dump out that bottle and then add it to it because it'll still taste like the old way, the old path. So you need a new bottle, a new wineskin to put the new wine in so that you don't ruin both. And Jesus said it doesn't matter which way you follow as long as you're a good person. That is one of the reasons why we have so many Christian religions. It's because it's allowed. You know? We talk about spiritualism. I'm not really Buddhist, even though I study some of the ideas from time to time because they're useful. You don't need to be a Buddhist to study them. Hindu religion, chakras, and the old medicine and the new medicine. They're all different ways. And there's a lot of people today that are trying to combine the new with the old. And they're trying their hardest not to reinvent the wheel. But here's the thing. We reinvent the wheel all the time. And we use the wheels that we have as a frame of reference. We get new tire designs, new rim designs, nearly daily from automotive manufacturers and tire productions. We reinvent the wheel on a daily basis. The old methods have their way about them. And you have to understand them in order to translate them into the modern world. You have to understand them completely. There will not be a direct translation because the old things that we've learned were long since replaced by new things that we've learned. And it changed how we understood the same subject. You know, for example, we now know about what veins are and how they circulate blood. And we know what nerves are and how they move energy throughout the body. In the old ways, those were theories. It's what they were. Trying to figure out how the body works and trying to control it with your brain. Trying to overcome mental illness by sheer will. And what we've learned is drugs help. Whether you're talking about marijuana, opium, alcohol, or any of the modern anti anxiety or antidepressant medicines today. You know, the most common theory about the burning bush is that it was a burning bush. You know, and then there's the this isn't something I can verify. This is a rumor, an unsubstantiated rumor. there is a rumor going around that one of the reasons that some temples in some places are sources of enlightenment is because they constantly are circulating mind altering chemicals. I can't substantiate that. I haven't been to any other temples but my own. No, I've only been to one Catholic temple. The rest were churches and community centers. But I'll tell you what, if I were to make a game, and I've been considering this a long time, if I were to make a game system, commonly D&D uses the game system that includes physical attributes and mental attributes. So you have strength, dexterity, vitality for your physical attributes. And then for your mental attributes, you have intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Now, in the world of D&D, your intelligence is used to perform magic, which makes int builds a little bit overpowered and have to be constantly rebalanced because the mental stance control both magic and technology. So if I was going to design a system, and this is the one that I've fleshed out a lot, and I keep losing the paper whenever I do that, I would instead use 3 attributes. The one for the body, the one for the spirit, and the one for the mind. And in order to be a well-balanced person, you need all 3 of them. They can't just be min-maxing one of the stats. So, pick a sport. Pick a martial art that you like. That satisfies that one requirement. Find a subject that you like to study. Anything. If you get bored of that subject, find a new subject. And that settles the mind. Or, make works on Etsy. Use your creative muscles a bit. That's still in your head. The third eye, here. This is imagination. Creativity. Inspiration. Well, I guess they put inspiration on the crown chakra. When the back of your head is working on a problem and finally solves it, you go, aha. Aha. Eureka. Light bulb. But that doesn't satisfy the needs of the spirit. Personally, I have, and I will probably always have, a deep belief in my own abilities. That's what's gotten me through a lot of hard times, but that's not for everybody. Some people need to believe in a higher power. Some people need to believe in the collective unconscious. You have to have faith in order to function. And what that faith is, that's not up to me because mine is unique to me. It's something that I've developed because I had to out of necessity, because I had no other choice. And because it's unique to me, it will likely only work for me. Hmm. The other chakras I don't know so much about. The root chakra is dumb. The core chakra is dumb. They fall on the same line as No Nut November. Don't masturbate. Buy Kellogg's cornflakes and you'll never be horny again. Bullshit. People can't function when they're horny. Stop telling them not to masturbate. Like, that's an important thing. There's not a well, I mean, there is such a thing as too much masturbation, and that is in public. Or, leaving your cum socks on the floor. It's too much. It's not bad. One of the one of the things that is constantly talked about in sexual health in relationships is that having sex every day is good as long as both participants orgasm in a relationship, right? I mean, you don't have to have sex every day. A masturbation once a day, it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt anybody. I mean, unless you're doing it at work, then maybe. Now, the tantra, on the other hand, it's not really going to activate anything special, but it is a manual for great sex, or so I'm told. You know, since I have that defect. Just kidding. The other chakra, in between there, I don't know. But I do know this. People keep getting confused the medulla oblongata with the heart. They're different. The gut, the heart, the medulla oblongata, the gator brain. You know, Bobby Boucher. Fuck you, Colonel Sanders. Anyway, the medulla oblongata in the back of your head is for regulating your emotions, not your heart and not your gut. Medulla oblongata. it can interfere with what's going on here, what's going on here. That gut feeling, it's important. That gut feeling is your root base survival instinct. And then your heart here. That's your connectedness. And if you turn this off or regulate it in a bad way, that's when you become cold, nihilistic, and often ruthless. And that's got to do with the medulla oblongata. So, the shit about pineal glands and this glands and that glands is bullshit. It served a purpose once. That purpose is long past. So the texts, they need to be updated. But I don't understand them enough to do that. So, isn't that what monks are for? The ardent followers? Yeah, that's what I thought. Do I have anything else? Do I have anything to add? Mm-hmm. Keep studying. Musashi was right. He said, keep studying. If you're done with one subject, move on to the next. Once you can no longer learn something from one martial art, move on to the next. Keep moving. Keep practicing. Keep learning. Be self-reliant. But also remember that you're part of something greater, the whole of humanity. We are both independent and social organisms. I do have one more thing to add. I just streamed about it, but it's going to get lost eventually. So, a lot of the religious texts that we have today, spiritual texts, whatever you want them, they are all about survival. I know the Hindu one talks about here being the root of survival or some crap. And they tell you to turn it off. You don't need the world because you'll die alone. But the Buddha, he's one of those fathers that went out for a pack of cigarettes and never came home. So, maybe take his word with a grain of salt. He didn't like his wife. Guaranteed. And he felt tethered down to his kid. And I get it. That's why one of the things we talk about when we talk about love and finding love is you have to want the person and you have to want the person. Your person. These are two separate things. And you need both of them. Because if you're together and you can't wait to get away from each other, it's not a relationship. And I would hope that my future partner would think the same. That's what I'm striving for. But everybody feels that need a different way. There isn't just one path or one way. It's whichever one is most comfortable for you. Unless it includes murdering other people in malicious intent, then you can get off this rock. You want to profit off of your fellow man, I think you need to get off this rock. You do. But this survival instinct right here, if you turn it off, people do turn it off. Mine was off for a long time because I was mentally conditioned a certain way. I don't blame my mom for it. I don't think she knew any better. I don't think she knows any better today. You know? But I know better. And it took me a long time to turn all of those back on. The gut instinct, the heart, and then the intuition. I don't know. Do I have anything else? Rain, do you have anything else? I can't think of anything. Ah, yes. The one thing. The one thing on everybody's mind. The abyss. The darkness within. Not the anger and the hate. That all consuming void. When pushed to their absolute limits, when pushed past it, even, humans do rash things. When you feel like there is no reason to be here anymore, that's when you start wondering, maybe there isn't. Maybe there's nothing else left for me. And that's why it's important to remember we're all here in this together. We can't be anything else. mean, that's why I started my Twitch channel with nobody's happy. Nobody can get along. Nobody trusts anybody else. If I make games, nobody's gonna play them. You know, if the world ends, or rather, if the world keeps going and there's nobody left to play my games, what is the point in making them? Because I want to bring people together. That's the ultimate goal. And the way that I can do that specifically is through the medium of video games. My favorite hobby. You know, it always has been. And it never won't be. Even though I know now that I can do and be so much more. That's still going to remain. I'm still going to want to do it. But in order for me to achieve that dream, I need to figure out how to convince people to chill the fuck out. Right? That is my way. That's what works for me. That's how I get through it every day. One foot in forward the other, in front of the other, every day. Even when I'm exhausted. Because when you're tired, sometimes that just means you need to recharge. Sometimes that means you got shit for shit roommates that are draining your energy. You know, and sometimes you luck out in a one in a million chance and it sends you spiraling into a world of denial. You can't really predict how things are going to go. You can have foresight, but you can't predict. Not accurately. It's always going to be that margin of error. But you know, it's in conclusion. Your way is your way, and my way is my way. You can use me as a reference or for inspiration, but it will never feel comfortable if you try to wear it. Because mine is built up from my experiences. And the only way that I can transmit it directly to somebody is the same way that I learned it.